My client wants me to turn this into this. Let's see if we can do it.
My client was looking for a classic French Provincial with 9 drawers. When I was scrolling on Facebook Marketplace, I found 2 pieces that fit the vision. This one was cheaper in price but covered in pink paint. The other one was a lot cleaner but also over $100 extra. And since I had to sand it down anyway, I decided to save my client some money and pick this pink one. As you can see, I have my work cut out for me. Every inch has been painted in thick pink paint. The handles were even stuck because of how much paint was covering it. I had to get my hammer out to even get them out. First things first, let's see what's under all this paint. It's a bit of a gamble when buying furniture covered in paint because you never really know if there's wood under it and then what condition it's in. But in this case, there's beautiful wood veneer under the paint, and I have to make sure I don't go too aggressive with my sanding so I don't accidentally burn through the veneer. This dresser is beautiful because of the extensive detailed lines, but that also makes it really tricky to strip down. Fortunately though, I have this scraping tool that has multiple head attachments, and this tool has really been the key to getting all the paint out of the details. The foam interface pad attachment on my Surf Prep sander is excellent for curvy queens like this one. I can easily sand down the curved edges and not worry about deforming the wood. The drawers are the main event of this flip. They're high maintenance in every form. They need scraped, sanded, and sweet talked just to get stripped down. Reminds me of someone else that I know. One down and 8 to go. To make myself feel like I'm progressing, I switched to sand the sides. That should work, right? This beautiful crayon artwork has lived a good life, but it's time to say goodbye. I've been using 80 grit sandpaper to take off the paint and then switching to 150 to remove the stain. When there's no escaping it, I have to go back to sanding these drawers. Watching this makes my hands hurt all over again.
One eternity later.
Did I mention there's a lot of curves on this dresser that need sanded? Well, if I didn't already, there's a lot of curves on this dresser and it needs sanded. I kid you not, I spent an entire day admiring how beautiful this dresser looked once all the paint and stain was removed. It took me days to get to this state, and many times I questioned if it was worth it. But wow, I think I love it, and I'm starting to see the reward. There's nothing better than finally getting done with prep work. My client wants a medium to light tone stain. In these situations, I always like to start with the lightest option, which in this case is a paint wash. Paint wash is where you take tan paint and water it down significantly. This is great for getting rid of the orangey tones out of wood. I like to apply it with a damp sponge, give it a few minutes, and then wipe it back. Once all the drawers are done, let's move over to the main body of the dresser. As you can see, the paint wash looks like it does absolutely nothing, but that couldn't be further from the truth. If I was to top coat it without applying the wash, the orange tones would pop out and show. So although it looks like this step you can skip, if you want a cool tone dresser without orange undertones, do not skip this. You can control the level of opacity by how much you water it down or by how much you wipe it back. Let's put it all together and see what we have. I'm loving the result. We have an excellent base to start layering more warmth and character. With the blessing of my client, I start adding a watered down medium brown stain. I dilute the stain with water to prevent too much color from absorbing in the wood. The end result gives me a lighter version of the stain. Especially in the summer months, I try to keep my surfaces misted down to give me more time to work with the stain before it sets. My big fluffy deck brush is also a go-to for applying even coats of stain, and it gives my pieces even more natural variation in color. My client approved the color that I added, so let's move on and finish the rest of the drawers. Moving on to the dresser, again I'm misting it down to give myself more time to work with the stain so I can get the exact color that I want. A key part with using the deck brush is to go in with even passes on the wood grain. It's fine to push the product around at first when trying to get good coverage, but once the product is spread evenly, go in long passes from edge to edge. Carrying your brush stroke past the edge of the dresser gives it a seamless look. And never start a stroke in the middle of the piece. You'll always be able to notice it. And just like that, the stain is done. Yay! Let's roll it onto our drop cloth and apply the top coat. Lately I've been using matte top coat instead of my usual satin. You can't go wrong with either, but I feel like the matte has been so trendy lately and gives a modern touch. I forgot to film spraying it, so let's just imagine it here. My client and I worked together to pick out the most stunning vintage brass poles. Tell me these aren't amazing. I'll wait. All right, here it is all together, but I think we can do better. Let's stage it and take some pictures. But not without a reminder of where we started. She was pink, chipping, and forgotten. But now, she's warm, inviting, and timeless. This once forgotten piece is now a stunning French Provincial in a warm pecan finish that adds timeless character. The client is overjoyed, and so am I. I picked it up for $50, used about $25 in supplies, and sold it for $1,300. Follow along to see how old pieces can become stunning again.